a demonstration of my IBM Watson Assistant called Blueberry on IBM's cloud site. As you can see here, I have already created an assistant. It's called Blueberry, and it has some skills associated with it. Clicking on the skills, it takes us to the skills where we can see firstly a list of intents. The intents are what the user intends to get from the bot, so essentially the question that the user answers. There's a list of intents here, starting with berries through contacts, farmers, with generic greetings, hours of information, identity, location, picking your own, registration, if the user types in something rubbish or rude, sales, thanks. As well as intents, we've also created entities. The entities are essentially variables that are collected from information that the user enters. Here I've defined two entities, berry types, farm location. I've also defined a location entity, but I haven't used that in this. There's also system entities, such as currency, date, and location. And it also allows a person's name to be entered, and the name is extracted and put into a system person entity. The main part of the building the chatbot was creating the dialogue. This is a list of dialogue nodes. The first node, the welcome node, is the information that is first displayed when the bot opens. This is automatically displayed when the bot starts up. Using this, I'm able to collect the name of the person who is registered on the site if they're logged in. Otherwise, Blueberry asks what name can they call you, and it now waits for a name to be entered. This name is then entered into a context variable called name, and this can be used again to display back the name of the person in Blueberry's responses. The identity node, as you can see here, this is an indicator of the use of the name context variable, where if a person has entered a name, the bot will display this name instead of the $name variable. If there are no names entered, then it will just ignore this variable. This identity is responding to questions which, for example, who are you? I also used this to add a farm name context variable, although this is better done using slots, which I'll come to in the next step. This is the pick your own dialogue. If the bot recognizes the intent to ask about picking berries, then the assistant recognizes the PYO intent. What it does is it checks to see if the farm name has already been entered in a previous input. It doesn't ask for it if it's not entered. And then what happens is that the bot uses the variable to display a particular farm's information. So if the user has already entered the farm name Berrylands, then the bot can respond with information specific to Berrylands. The last response is the default if the user does not enter a specific farm name. This is the node where I've also used the context variable berry type, and using the berry type, the user gets a response containing the berry type and is then directed to a specific a page depending on what particular berry they would like to view information on. The register node gives the users information about registering on the site, either as a grower or as a user. This is just a list of farmers which we have currently in Nelson. So the user can ask for information about berry farmers and it will display this list. Sales links us to the auction page. Contacts is a simple link to the contacts page. Hours Open again uses the farm name context variable to display information about the farm that has already been entered. The farm address does the same, except in this case I have required that when a user is looking for location information, they are prompted to answer with a farm name. This is an interesting one because this has also been set such that if the individual does not give an answer, it will continue to ask the question unless they ask about a list of farms or a list of growers, or they ask the bot to provide them with a list of farms that they can choose from. This is called a digression, where the node will allow a question which digresses to a different node and then returns back to the same node to ask the question again. Are able to display images to the user, so responses are not just in the form of text, but it can also respond with images. As you can see here, I've used the context variable again to display specific images depending on the name of the berry entered. If the bot doesn't recognize the name of the berry, it responds with a response. The chatter node is just a simple node with greetings, with thanks, with goodbyes, and these all use the context variable of the person's name to display a response with that person's name in it. Rubbish, this was just a bit of a play. Essentially, if the user enters some rude comment, they will get a response which is not just a simple response, it's a response with text, with an emoji, and with an image. So responses can be set as multiple responses. In this case, it responds with both text and images. The last node is the generic anything else, and this is the node which finally gets hit if the bot can't understand what the user's entered. And as you can see from responses, the user will, after typing in an unrecognized response 3 times, on the 4th time the bot will respond and ask them if they'd like to talk to a real person. The one nice thing about this is the analytics section, which gives an overview of conversations, specifically this section where the bot doesn't understand. It displays results which it couldn't respond to, and using this, if I have a response here which I would like the bot to respond to, I can now train it by editing the intent and choosing an intent which I would like that particular query to be trained on. There's a nice try it out section here. where we can type something in. And the bot responds. Obviously it was asking for my name, and I said show farms, so it's put show farms in as my name. Of interest is I typed in show farms with a small letter. I have coded the bot so that at this stage it picks up what is entered, converts it into a context variable for names, and it also converts the first letter to a capital. I'm going to get rid of that context variable and prove that again by entering Tom with a small letter. And as you can see, what is currently broken because it needs to be cleared. Another advantage of this try it out is it allows you to see which dialog node is being hit. By clicking here I can trace which node has been responded to, so now I see that it's collected the person's name, but it hasn't capitalized the name, so I'm going to have to go into this and change that so it's capitalized. This child node here has been set to take the string input and convert it to an uppercase. So I need to copy that into the previous node. Another useful thing, I've typed in show farmers. The bot has picked this up as a berry image, and I don't want it to be a berry image. I want show farmers to be a farmer's intent. So now I have changed it, and Watson is training, which will fix this and change so that when it's finished training I'll be able to enter show farmers and it will respond with the farmers rather than a type of berry. So that is my IBM Watson Assistant, which has been uploaded onto my Berries website and is accessible and can be tried out through the website. Thank you. Watson has just finished training, so I'm going to enter and it's still confused about what farmers are. And for some reason it's hitting the show berry with context variable now, so it doesn't train it properly yet. To show the farmers, so we'll try and train it again.